Before we begin, take a second to like this video, share it with someone who's seeking clarity, and subscribe to Virtue Over Chaos, where ancient Stoic wisdom meets the chaos of modern life. Your support helps us bring more timeless insight to the people who need it most. Now imagine this, you're free to do anything, but you feel directionless, tired, unmotivated, overwhelmed. On the surface, that looks like freedom, but deep down, it's a prison. Because true freedom, the kind the Stoics spoke of, only comes through one thing: discipline. Part 1, Redefining Freedom. We live in a culture obsessed with freedom. Do what you want, live your truth, be limitless. But here's the paradox the Stoics understood centuries ago. Without structure, freedom collapses into chaos. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And that's where discipline comes in. Not the harsh, punishing kind we associate with military drills or self-hate, but a sacred discipline, an inner order, a guiding compass that keeps your soul aligned even when the world pulls you off course. Because what is freedom really if you're enslaved by impulses? What is freedom if your moods dictate your actions? What is freedom if every distraction pulls you further from your purpose? Part 2, what the Stoics actually meant by discipline. For the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, discipline wasn't control over others, but control over oneself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can stop you from doing this." Discipline was about building daily rituals, habits of the mind, and restraints of emotion that lead you away from chaos and closer to your highest self. Epictetus didn't own much. He had no mansion, no wealth, no fame, but he had freedom. Why? Because he had control over his desires, over his reactions, over his thoughts. He could not be owned by circumstances because he had mastered himself. That's the kind of discipline we're talking about, not for the sake of rules, but for the sake of liberation. Part 3, why lack of discipline is a modern prison. Fast forward to today. We have every tool imaginable at our fingertips: unlimited content, food delivery in minutes, constant notifications. Yet more people than ever feel anxious, overwhelmed, and lost. Why? Because we mistake ease for freedom. But when your phone controls your attention, you're not free. When your cravings run your life, you're not free. When you break promises to yourself daily, you're not free. Modern life has made comfort our God. And in doing so, we've starved our soul of the challenge it needs to grow. Discipline, saying no, choosing structure, being intentional, becomes not a punishment, but a path back to inner power. Part 4, practical Stoic disciplines that lead to freedom. Let's talk application. What did Stoic discipline look like? And how can you practice it today? Hash 1, discipline of thought. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily, confronting his ego, reminding himself of nature, death, and virtue. Try it. Ask yourself each morning, what is in my control today? What kind of person do I want to be? Mental discipline creates clarity. You learn not to follow every thought, but to question it. Discipline of emotion. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Stoics practiced negative visualization, imagining setbacks before they came so they wouldn't be broken by them. They also trained themselves to pause before reacting. A moment of stillness saves hours of regret. Now 3, discipline of action. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. You know what you should be doing. The discipline is in doing it, whether you feel like it or not. Honor your word, wake up on time, train your body, limit distractions. Finish what you start." That's not rigid, that's freedom from regret. Part 5, the quiet joy of the disciplined life. Here's the part the world doesn't talk about. Discipline isn't just hard, it's deeply joyful. When you stop betraying yourself, when you follow through on your promises, when your actions align with your values, you begin to feel something rare: self-respect. You stop looking for validation because you already know who you are. You stop chasing pleasure because you've tasted purpose. And that's a kind of joy comfort can never give you. Part 6, discipline is the path to inner freedom. Seneca once said, "No man is free who is not a master of himself." That is the soul of Stoic freedom. Not doing whatever you want, whenever you want, but being able to choose the hard thing because it's right. Being able to stay still while the world spins. Being able to carry peace where others panic. Discipline makes you dangerous to the chaos, not because you resist it, but because you are no longer defined by it. And in that space where your choices come from virtue, not impulse, you discover a new kind of life. Not easy, but meaningful. Not noisy, but strong. Not reactive, but free. If this video stirred something in you, if you're tired of being ruled by distraction, emotion, and inconsistency, then maybe it's time. Time to stop running. Time to stop drifting. Time to take back control, one small disciplined act at a time. Because discipline isn't about rules. It's about returning to your highest self, day after day, choice after choice. So, like this video, share it with someone who needs this truth, and subscribe to Virtue Over Chaos for weekly Stoic guidance that helps you build strength in a world of noise. And remember, freedom begins with discipline, and discipline begins with one choice today.